All right, so this video is if you missed Zoom class on Tuesday, January 19th, right? So just to recap with a couple of announcements, right? Know that our periodic table exam is coming up on Tuesday, January 26th. If you have been checking our My Medical Chemistry Unit 4, the periodic table progress tracker, you'll know that we'll have one lesson coming up, lesson 4.9, before we take the next exam. So usually we have exams on Fridays, but the chemistry team has been working together, so we would all take the exam around the same time. So that's why it's happening on Tuesday. Know that your grades will also be updated at the end of today. They've actually been updated as of right now. So Tuesday, 10:50 a.m. Please use Schoology to check for your most accurate grade. I noticed that there's a glitch in Aries that I can't seem to find the origin of, but it's creating like a 4 to 5% difference of your grade. So please use Schoology as your main way of checking what your grade is, right? So for our learning goals today, we're going to continue talking about patterns in the periodic table, and we're mainly going to discuss reactivity patterns, right? So in our classwork, we did a short demo for reactivity patterns, and then you worked on Nearpod lesson 4.7 and 4.8. So just to recap from the previous weeks, this entire unit, we've been talking about the need for ions or salts and how we need that in our bodies to function, right? So oftentimes, if we don't have enough ions, we end up with random cramps when we're playing sports and things like that, right? So all ions are salts or electrolytes that we consume, and they are elements that have an overall positive or negative charge, and they end up with this overall positive or negative charge by either gaining or losing electrons, right? So we've kind of been looking into ions and patterns in the periodic table because we need to learn about patterns in the periodic table in order to design a test to figure out whether our patient is missing a certain ion or has too much of a certain ion. Right? So that's the final end of that unit. So our goal for today is to look for patterns in reactivity, right? And to do that, you're going to go onto your main Schoology page, and you're either going to scroll down to the upcoming, let me move my head first, the classwork reactivity patterns in the periodic table, or if you don't see it in the upcoming section, go ahead and click down to the week 3 folder right here. And then you want to open up the January 19th Tuesday class materials folder. Right, so on here where it says classwork, reactivity, patterns in the periodic table, right, it's going to look like this. So your goal is to identify patterns of reactiveness or how explosive elements are in the periodic table by answering questions on this Google form. So usually whenever we do classwork things, I haven't taught you anything yet. Just want to see if you remember things from the past and are able to figure certain things out, right? So bonus, just to recap from last time, we did mention reactivity before, but not directly. So for example, in Zoom class, I showed students an element and that helped them answer this bonus question here. So I'm going to go ahead and enlarge myself so that you too can answer this bonus question as well. All right, so the question states, is the elements that Ms. Kwan placed in the test tube a metal, non-metal, or metalloid? And use the table to help you, right? So here is this object, right? You could probably tell without me doing any experiments whether this is a metal, metalloid, or a non-metal, right? So what I essentially did was I took the same object of this and I placed it in this copper chloride liquid. So copper chloride is this stuff, right? And you notice that once I placed it in the blue copper chloride liquid, it went from this to forming this kind of like dark reddish color underneath. All right, so let me go ahead and take this out as well so that you can clearly see what this object looks like after it's been in the copper chloride. So I've taken the object out of the test tube so you can kind of see based off the background. We'll use my hand as a background, right? What's happening here. So if I can rub a piece off, right, you can see the reddish color that's forming. And that should also help you answer the bonus question as well. All right, so for the rest of the questions below, this information here should be review for you, right? So if you don't recall this, please double check Nearpod lesson 4.5 and 4.6 in order to help you answer questions 1 and question 2. And to help you answer question number 3, I've linked a video for you. Right, so once you're done with this, go ahead and click Submit. Again, whenever we're doing classwork, this is just a general questions to see if you can identify the pattern. So I'm only grading it for completion, right? And once you're done with this, if you watch Nearpod lesson 4.7 and 4.8 for your notes, it will explain why the reactivity is this way if you did not notice the pattern, and other patterns you need to know for chemistry as well. So once you're done with this form, go ahead and click Submit to submit it. And then as per usual, you're going to go back onto your main Schoology page. And you should see the homework on the upcoming right-hand side or under week 3, January 19th, Tuesday, class materials. Go ahead and click on homework, unit 4, the periodic table, Nearpod lesson 4.7 and 4.8. So a reminder that these are our notes for class, these 2 lessons. Be sure to take notes on all items in red or boxed in red and answer all of the Nearpod questions to get full credit. If you don't remember how to take notes from the Nearpod lessons, I've embedded this video below to help you out. And that was pretty much it for today. And then also a general reminder that once you're done with the Nearpod lessons, please be sure to update your medical chemistry unit 4, the periodic table progress tracker. So again, to get to that, you're going to go onto your main page of Schoology, and it should be linked on the first page that says My Medical Chemistry, Unit 4, the Periodic Table Progress Tracker. All right, so that should help you out. If I click on it, it will look something like this. All right, so far you should have completed all the way up to Nearpod lessons 4.5 and 4.6, right? And today's homework is Nearpod lesson 4.7 and 4.8, right? So if you're working on these, go ahead and click in progress. And then once you're done with them, check completed, right? And these 2 Nearpods will be due tomorrow at the end of class, right? The last 10 minutes before class. But again, if you finish the Nearpods early, and you complete the launch questions and only miss one question, as usual, you can log off early. Right, so once you finish the Nearpods, that's your only homework for today, and that's pretty much it for today.